Welcome back to another episode of Out Loud Geek, where we discuss news and views about pop culture, science fiction, fantasy, food, cooking, the outdoors, and more. SheHulk star Tatiana Maslany is now saying that there is no hope for a second season of the show. And do I personally feel any sadness about that? Nope, none at all. But before proceeding, I'd like to ask everyone to please like this video, please press the red subscribe button to support this channel, and please press the bell to receive notifications. Thanks! I was never actually interested in watching the SheHulk show in the first place. The trailers alone were enough to tell me that I would not like it. But I'm sure there are a few fans. Tatiana Maslany, the actor who played Jennifer Walters, aka SheHulk, in SheHulk Attorney at Law, has dashed any hopes of a second season of Marvel's divisive Disney Plus show. Aww. Appearing on streamer Nerd Incorrect's Twitch game show Codenames Live, Maslany was asked by the host, quote, "Should we hope for a season 2, unquote. Maslany replied, quote, "I don't think so. I think we blew our budget," and Disney was like, "No thanks," unquote. We'll get into the show's budget momentarily. Maslany's statement isn't official, of course, but it sounds quite final. A second season of the show was never discussed by Marvel, although head writer Jessica Gao had said that she had ideas for further seasons, and the final episode left the possibility open. But if hardly anyone is actually interested in watching the show, those ideas are a waste of time because they're never going to happen. If Disney has decided against any further SheHulk on TV, it would not be a surprise. In several ways, SheHulk Attorney at Law was emblematic of the issue Disney has faced with its ambitious plan to extend its top-tier cinematic franchises, Marvel and Star Wars, into streaming TV series. As Maslany hinted, top of those issues is cost. Conceptually, SheHulk was intentionally quite modest, a comedy that would gently spoof a staple TV genre, the legal drama, as well as involve some low to mid-level superhero hijinks and some of the fourth wall breaking meta-comedy associated with the character in the comics. And conceptually, that wasn't a horrible idea, but it assumed that viewers would already be familiar with the SheHulk character as presented in the comics. Further, as is my understanding, the writing, directing, acting, editing, and special effects were all subpar. And its main character was a walking special effect, which, according to Variety, led to ballooning budgets of as much as $25 million per episode, and a total cost equal to that of a major blockbuster movie release. So how much did Disney and Marvel Studios actually spend on producing SheHulk Attorney at Law? Given that there are 9 episodes in the show's first season at a cost of around $25 million per episode, that means that Disney and Marvel Studios spent around $225 million on a show that no one wanted. And that's more than what Disney and Marvel Studios spent on 24 of the MCU's 33 movies that have been released in theaters as of the time that I am recording this video. The only MCU movies that cost at least $225 million or more to produce were 2012's The Avengers, 2015's Avengers Age of Ultron, 2016's Captain America Civil War, 2018's Avengers Infinity War, 2019's Avengers Endgame, 2022's Thor Love and Thunder, 2022's Black Panther Wakanda Forever, 2023's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and finally, 2023's The Marvels, which cost a whopping $274.8 million to produce and is now the MCU's lowest grossing movie of all time. And all of the movies that I just listed were essentially ensemble cast movies. So Disney totally threw away a tremendous amount of money to produce SheHulk Attorney at Law. But let's go on with the article. That's a high price tag for a show with a niche, low-stakes concept which had only a middling impact on its release. To make matters worse, Variety also reported that Marvel Studios' script, development, and production processes proved ill-suited to episodic TV, resulting, in She-Hulk's case, in rushed and unfinished visual effects that were especially underwhelming considering the budget. Spending $225 million to produce an episodic show that's heavy on special effects that Disney and Marvel Studios could not get right is an indication of very poor management. Oh, and who was in charge of the special effects when the show was being produced? Victoria Alonso, who was fired last year, as I had talked about in several videos that I had released at the time. She-Hulk was an object lesson in how difficult it is to scale franchise movie making down to TV, and its apparent cancellation is indicative of a shift away from this expensive strategy at Disney. After premiering 9 live-action shows in the space of 3 years, Marvel is now leaning into animation with the likes of this year's X-Men 97 and Eyes of Wakanda. It only has a few live-action TV projects on its slate, and the status of many of these beyond this year's Agatha Darkhold Diaries is unclear. As for She-Hulk, it seems possible the character will pop up in future MCU movies, but Maslany certainly isn't working on anything yet. Quote, "I've got nothing going on. You can find me on Instagram not posting. I've got no job," unquote, she joked on the stream. Disney wasted hundreds of millions of dollars to produce She-Hulk Attorney at Law, and I have no doubt that the only reason that it was produced was to support woke identity politics. So the show is yet another example of a saying, go woke, go broke. Disney needs to be under new management at the top, and until that happens, I seriously doubt that they'll be able to dig themselves out of the financial hole that they have dug themselves into. Thanks for watching today, and a huge thanks to everyone who has subscribed to our channel. We appreciate your support. If you enjoyed this video, please press the like button, and please feel free to share a comment. If you'd like to help support this channel, please press the red subscribe button, and please press the bell to receive notifications for new content. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and Twitter by clicking on the links in the description. Until next time, this is Out Loud Geek.